Okay, good evening, Star Wars fans. Coming to you live for another episode of Dan Plays. This is the third one. So, I know the last two episodes we've had Chris Kelly and Chris Goglin on. Well, this week we're getting away from the Chris's and we're actually bringing in a Kendall. So, this week is my guest is one of the two hosts of the Bad Deck Breakdowns. You know him, you love him, Mr. Kendall Halman. How are you doing today, Kendall?
I'm doing great. It is an honor to be following the footsteps of Chris Goglin and Chris Kelly. I didn't realize this was those are some big deals. I'm not that big of a deal.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I know we were looking. I was looking for a guest and everything, and everybody's like, "Well, you volunteered," and he was like, "Oh, the bottom of the barrel." I'm like, "No, you're not the bottom of the barrel. You're up there. You know, you have your podcast. We have a lot of stuff we can talk about. Not only that, your builds are fun. I don't think I've actually played you in like any real matches, but just seeing some of the builds that you've made over the last years, especially this year, they look interesting. So that's why I'm really glad and excited to have you on as the guest.
Yeah. I think I played against you when I was testing my generals deck for bad deck breakdowns.
Okay.
I think it was like a really early version of the deck, and you were playing. I think you were playing like Legend or something, and I ended up like winning, and that was kind of the game that was like, I mean, I don't, you may not have been playing optimally or
Hmm.
whatever, but like it was like a game where I was like, oh, this deck can actually, occasionally win games. Because there's some of these bad deck breakdown decks. The Jawa deck that I built
Hmm.
back last fall, I played 9 playtest games and lost every single one of them.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think this one's going to be exciting. So we're going to go with something that's a little bit more thematic. I know I've gone from playing on the Jawa 2 weeks ago with Chris Kelly. Last week, Chris Goglin and I played a Premier Death Star 2. Well, this week we're going to go more thematic. So Kendall and I are going to be playing Masasi base operations and set your course for Alderaan. So a little bit more of the hey, it's an exciting thing from A New Hope. Uh, Went with this one because Kendall recently put together a set your course that is designed to blow up Alderaan, Yavin 4, and Hoth. So I figured something like this would be fun for the viewers to see. Something two decks that you really don't see a lot of, especially towards the blowing up of planets slash space stations. So okay, let's go in. You know what? Let's get this going. So got Gemp already loaded. I got my. Uh, I'm just gonna send a shout out really quick to Eric Hunter. He actually showed me a MBO that I'm actually gonna be playing. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna go run with his deck, and there you go. So the game is loaded, and
Right.
let's get this blow up fest started.
Yeah, blowing up planets is fun. Like I didn't I because I wanted to build this deck because I realized that I had never blown up a planet before. And like, because I've been playing the game for a long time, and it's
Hmm.
a fairly a fairly iconic thing in the game that you can do. The nice thing about Gemp is, like, because you can play so many games, you can, the crazy stuff happens way more often when you're playing, dozens and
Hmm.
dozens of games as opposed to
Yeah.
just playing 6 games a quarter or whatever.
Oh well, this is an interesting opening hand. So, people who are watching, I know you can see my opening hand, my hand. We won't be able to see. We will not be able to see Kendall's hand. But as you can see, my opening hand's pretty interesting. Okay, you know what? Let's do.
Let's see. How do I play this deck? I think my hand's good.
Yeah, I think I want to go with
Now, the
this one
last 2 times that I've tried to
first.
stream, Gemp has crashed on me, so hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully I don't cause that. I guess the curse isn't happening because it's not on my on my Twitch channel.
Okay. Well, I want to get my grabber out too, so you can only activate one. Okay, now I got to read my objective, so I'm going to pull it up here for a second while you activate. So another thing I like to do is request that the action timer is disabled. This way, you and I can chat, have fun.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Like I said, my opening hand is definitely not the best. Just because... How was your opening hand? Any better than mine?
Well, I obviously can't see your opening hand, but it's something. The problem is I don't really know. This deck is a deck that kind of pulls everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you almost want to have a bad opening hand.
You know what?
I just gotta remember what these cards do.
Yeah, it's the same for me, and unfortunately, like half the stuff I have in my hand is stuff that I can pull.
Mm.
Okay, so here comes your Death Star locations.
Yeah. I'm grabbing the Death Star location. So I played this game. I played like 2 or 3 games with this deck, and I was like, man, it's really lucky that I keep getting operational as planned in my opening hand, so I can pull Krennic. Not, because there's lots of cards with lots of words on them.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, not realizing that you get it back into your opening hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here comes Mr. Krennic. Now, which Krennic are you playing? Are you playing Krennic? Okay, so you're playing you're playing the Tom Haid Krennic.
Mm-hmm. Which he, when the Death Star's orbiting a battleground, he can draw some cards, and he also pulls a non-unique Star Destroyer once per game, which is
I feel like he doesn't do as much as the other Krennic, the Chris Kelly Krennic.
Oh yeah, no, the other one's like really good because as an anti-undercover spy dude.
This is a nice little starting though. I mean, you can get your super laser into your hand. Oh wait, it's right there.
Yeah. So the question is, in this matchup, do I deploy Yavin 4 or do I not deploy Yavin 4 and get the extra damage when I blow it up?
That's a good question. I'm
gonna try not deploying it and see what happens. We'll deploy Hoth instead.
Okay. So, what made you decide to go and build a set your course? Is it just something that you said it's just something that you really wanted to do?
Yeah, I realized that that I had never blown up a planet. Like I'd never successfully done that, and I kind of looked into it, and it was like, oh, this is, at least you can whether it wins or not, it is possible to build a set your course for Alderaan deck that blows up planets.
Mm-hmm.
But the trick here is to get all 3 planets, you have to actually draw Commence Primary Ignition into your hand, because you can only use A Million Voices Crying Out twice.
Well, I mean, you can. The thing about that is, you can pool it, which is nice, and then you can, if you take a drain, you can ditch it to a drain and then get it back. So yeah, if anybody, for those who don't know, it's basically you can take Commence Primary Ignition into hand from Lost Power Reserve deck, and then you reshuffle, obviously. If Alderaan is blown away, you retrieve force anytime you deploy a unique Star Destroyer. So it sounds like to me that you want to play a lot of your Star Destroyers. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's where I'm really struggling. Like long term with this deck as to whether like it's pretty obvious that this deck wants you to play a bunch of Star Destroyers. The flip side of Set Your Course adds to gives you big drains wherever you have a Star Destroyer. But but then the other side of it is obviously the obvious build of Set Your Course for Alderaan isn't like good, isn't going to be competitive. So my thought is, and where I'm trying to find the balance, what I would like to do is have this be almost like a mains build, just kind of hit and run against disrupting my opponent on their battlegrounds, and then slowly destroying some planets and getting a little bit of incremental extra damage, almost like reverse pod racing.
Okay.
But I don't think that works either. But still, it blows up planets.
And everybody knows blowing up planets is half the fun. Okay. So, again, this is an Eric Hunter build. He actually played this in the OCS, I want to say, last month. On top of that, the one thing he told me was you got to flip fast. So you want to try and flip as quick as you can. And then after you flip, then you can do all your shenanigans. But I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, I'm really I don't know how this deck I don't know what this deck does if you successfully blow up the Death Star.
Okay, so you got another gunner. So your gunners are going to add 2 to your destiny to blow up with commence primary ignition. So you getting out those guys as fast as you are is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it flips fast. So if we look at what I've got here, I have to be above 8. Which unfortunately I don't have a used interrupt or anything I can track. I guess I have a lot of force, but so commence primary ignition adds 1 for each Death Star site that is I think it's like if it's unoccupied by if there's no light side presence, it adds 1 for each site, and then each of them adds 2. So that makes it that starts it at 6. So I'll only have to draw 3.
Wow.
To yeah. So that's it's pretty doable. Let's get my other system out.
And what's your other system?
Kashyyyk.
Okay, so you did put another Kashyyyk into there. Okay.
Yeah. That's for you camp out in a normal match. You would at any time you that's where you drop your Star Destroyers and get that extra drain there. Because there's a combination of big drains and retrieval when you're deploying Star Destroyers, it almost acts as like a shield busting thing.
Okay.
Because your opponent has to decide whether they want to pull both of the force retrieval shields or whether they want to pull ultimatum. You run out once you pulled your grabber and everything else, you run out of shields pretty fast.
Or you just do the smart thing and play like cold feet or
right.
That.
Yeah. But which is true of any shield busting strategy. But it with those big drains, if you can get 1 drain of 4 in, it's 1 more. It's nothing to complain about.
Yeah. You are now orbiting Alderaan.
Yep.
All those little people on Alderaan are staring up right now and seeing this big upside down Death Star staring at them. Okay. You know what? No.
That's a good one to grab. That's a good one to grab. We talked about grabbers in the most recent bad deck breakdowns. And
Oh.
yeah, nothing wrong with grabbing.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have Twitch open right now, but we got a few people watching us right now.
Yeah, I don't have Twitch open. I don't want
Okay.
to see your hand and be cheating.
Oh, that's a good point. You know what? I'm glad that you are not a cheater.
I am not a cheater.
Okay. So, speaking of bad deck breakdowns, so how long have you been doing those for?
So, bad deck breakdowns started after nationals last year. So we're coming up on a year. We do monthly episodes, and we've done 13 episodes. So there were a couple. I think there was twice that we did 2 in the span of a month.
Okay.
I think we started in August or September. CRG Matt Lutz and I, and yeah, we just take turns building a deck. The idea is that it's not that it has to be a bad deck, but it's like, our tagline is don't be afraid to play bad decks. So, a deck being bad shouldn't prevent you from trying it, I guess. And also like my whole thing is, I think there's some people, and I get guilty of this too, when I see like somebody posts on Facebook with like some weird deck that they built that's got like 25 TIE fighters in it or something. And you're like, no, that just doesn't, you have to, you recommend that you look at good decks to kind of help you get better at playing. But also like it's okay to build a deck when you're not a great player, because that's part of the game. All right,
Exactly.
let's see what happens. Happens here.
So during your control phase, you would be able to. Okay, so you do get to do it. You draw 4.
So that should. Does that do it?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so.
Okay, y equals 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 plus 4 is 10, so it should succeed.
Well,
if it doesn't freeze on us.
Why choose value for Z? So, and Z is.
Oh, because I forgot that
I can subtract. So, boom! I'm subtracting 3. I slow you down.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, and so now we kill a Death Star gunner.
So to kill the Death Star gunner, search and take a super.
If you fail, if commence primary ignition fails, then a Death Star gunner gets killed. Because that means that gunner didn't pull their trigger, and so Tarkin shot him.
But Tarkin's not even on Death Star.
I mean, he's there. He's just not there. He's not. I don't know. I forget the. I don't. Yeah. I forget the. There's an explanation. Somebody. Maybe Krennic's there.
Yeah.
Krennic probably shot him.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. I was wondering, like, why is it asking me to choose a value? This makes no sense.
Well, at least you chose a good value.
I mean, it gave me 3 options. It gave me Alderaan, Hoth, and Yavin 4, and I'm just like, well, I'll choose Yavin 4. So now you get another Death Star conference rooms, or no? Are you okay? So you got the conference room.
the conference room.
And the conference room adds one if you have a leader
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so
Whereas the other one doesn't do really much of anything to help you. So I have a
yeah,
feeling you're going to move Krennic over.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the other one, it adds to the force loss,
Okay.
but I don't have to occupy it to do that.
Oh, you got another Death Star gunner. See, you don't need those guys.
Yeah, yeah. There's 3 in the deck. I don't play as many. One of the lists I looked at had 6 Death Star gunners in it, and unless it's a matchup like this or EBO, it's as you saw, it's pretty easy to destroy Alderaan.
Yeah. I mean, just like in the movies, Alderaan's only there to be destroyed.
Right. Well, that's what I put on the. I also do the bad Star Wars CCG advice is my parody Twitter account. And I said set your course for Alderaan is a very thematic objective because you blow up Alderaan and then light side wins.
You know what? That's pretty much true. I mean, don't get me wrong. Set your course for Alderaan. The objective is good, just because you get good activation. You start with 5 yourself, and you don't suffer any battle damage while you're on the 0 side. So, I mean, a lot of people like to put like the Emperor or Sidious down to the docking bay. They occupy the battleground site, and then they just do crazy stuff in space.
Yeah, which I do have Sidious in here.
Okay.
I have a big hand. I should probably. I'm talking to you, so I'm not like deploying things.
See, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's the trick, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the trick. So, how long have you been doing the Twitter?
Since June.
Okay.
Yeah. I got it. There was some basic. I made it to troll some people online. Not like super bad, but like people were posting things that I didn't think were very smart on social media, and so I was like, well, I'll just like pretend to do. But then it didn't even turn out to be that. Mostly I just make Star Wars CCG memes, and yeah, up to 73 followers, which is almost as many as my personal Twitter, which I've had for 10 years. So scratched a nerve or something.
Oh, that makes me sad.
All right. Uh-oh, you're flipped.
I am.
Better start. Yeah, like I said, I better start doing stuff.
Here, have a free icon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have one card that's in here for MBO, so we'll see if it ends up coming into effect.
I like your advice. Deploy stuff.
I will say, yeah, this deck gets it activates a lot of force. I don't know if it's the matchups, or if it's because like you consistently get all your locations out. You don't have to worry about some used interrupt that pulls one of your Twixes. Like your objective just pulls it. And also you're not. I don't know. I feel like with Court, even though I can pull all my docking bays, a lot of times I just like I miss the pull, or I want to pull a ship or something, so I end up with a docking bay floating around. This one you really get everything out, so you end up activating a lot of force. But also everybody's really expensive in the deck, so good. It's probably good that that's the case.
shuttle some people around. Well, it makes
Man,
me
so
sad.
you're gonna subtract 5. You're gonna subtract 5 from my commence primary ignition.
No, so we're playing this just for fun. Again, Kendall built a sit your course recently where his entire goal was to blow up planets. Well, I figured, you know what, we'll play the most thematic way to do this, and go with play a little MBO versus set your course. You know, just in case, I like her there. Okay, do your worst. Well, not
All
really.
right. So let's do our basic math here. So if I try to commence primary ignition, which I did use the pole to get it into my hand, so it's obviously in my hand. We got one, so we're 5 from the site and the Death Star gunners, 6, 7, 8 from the stuff from the sites.
Well, I was going to say, don't forget, you have the Death Star trench.
That's yeah.
That's a site.
Yeah. I guess that is a Death Star site. Yeah. So 9, but then you're gonna subtract 5 from that from Yavin.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes it down to 4. But also, I don't know if I can get it that much. I can't remember how many 5s are in the deck. Usually it's pretty easy to get to 4.
Mm-hmm. So I know you have. So I've seen your list, and I want to say I know you have like some 6s. Now, if only there was a way to check during your control phase.
Yeah. Which I can't do without using like a once per game, without using the once per game on that. Yeah, but yeah, it's.
Well, you could pull the shield, the fanfare shield.
Yeah, I could. That's actually not. That's a good idea. What is it? Fanfare. Well, yeah, that'll prevent cancel your order to engage too.
Everybody hates that card. Actually, no, it's the sandstorm and ice storms. That's what you got to worry about. Okay, let's see.
Okay. 640.
640, and one of them is a commenced primary ignition. I mean, you could.
Oh, so I can pull that. Yeah,
you could pull that. But that only brings you to 8 with the 4. So you have a 50-50 chance to blow up Alderaan this turn. I like those odds.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah.
I think you got to do it.
The only thing is, well, okay. So I guess the thing is, if I use that pull, then I'm not blowing up Hoth, because that'll be my second pull.
Well, if you make it, you can still blow up Hoth.
No, because if I make it, then commence primary ignition goes lost.
That's true.
And there's only 2 commence primary ignitions in the deck. And that'll be my last pull. So,
Well, I think you got to do it though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you blow up Alderaan and that's what you're trying to do, look at the amount of force loss I'm going to be taking.
Well, Yavin is what you'll. Yeah, Yavin is where you'll be taking a lot of force loss because Alderaan you only lose 3. But yeah, okay. And I suppose
you'll like the 3 I'm going to throw away. I'm just going to say this right now. So what got you and CRG into doing the bad deck breakdowns? Was this your idea, his idea?
So oh, there it is.
Ah.
All right, now I have to pay attention to where that 6 is. Wait, what's the optional? Oh, optional response is to add one. So I mean, I do lots of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a joke that I can't have a hobby without starting a podcast about it. And
I'll just throw
and
away 2 Death Stars.
yeah, nice. And yeah, I was back into the game. I did an audio tournament report that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty well received. And let's see, what do you got there? Oh, I've got she's a pilot. He's a pilot.
I got 3 pilots.
And she's a pilot. Okay. Nothing. Just making sure there wasn't, like, sometimes cards are good.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. That's a Star Destroyer.
Oh, so I just retrieved Commence Primary Ignition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so maybe there's still a chance.
So what other hobbies do you do podcasts for?
So I've got a comic book podcast, and then I've got a couple of music podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I've been doing that I'm pretty proud of right now is it's called Storytellers Unplugged. My friend Ben and I we interview a local Columbus songwriter once a month, and then kind of we actually have them perform,
Mm-hmm.
which has varying bits of audio issues since we're doing it all over Skype right now, but it kind of comes out cool.
Okay.
And then yeah, the other music one is called That's What We Called Music with a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and my sister-in-law and we review song by song all of the songs from the Now That's What I Call Music catalog.
Oh, nice. Holy Admirals, Batman.
But I just realized that I only have one card in my reserve deck.
Yeah. And we know it's a 4.
And we know it's a 4. Yeah.
Oh, I'm only going to be losing Philo Gandish. Okay, I'm happy with that. What? That's no.
I guess it makes sense to battle even if I can't draw all the destinies.
You know what? Just for you, I'll add one.
We'll go ahead and grab that.
Yeah. This didn't happen like the movies.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the Liberty was not at Yavin 4.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, I mean, I only have to lose Philo. You got to lose 2 pilots, or 1 pilot.
Yeah. What do these guys even do?
I would say Piet's probably the weakest one up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Philo's job is just to deploy for free.
Well, I'll get some Battle Destinies next time.
I'm running away.
Well, that works too.
Don't you be moving your little Death Star near me.
But seriously, I got to remember where that 6 is. That's actually one of my favorite things about playing this deck is it's forcing me to do like some just very, very basic tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally I just kind of hope for a high destiny, so I don't, I only track kind of late in the game.
Okay.
Or when it's but like since I have a target consistently in this deck, I need to, it kind of forces me to pay attention, get used to it. Up.
I just did that to get rid of your little doctrine.
Yeah. Yeah, Tarkin's doctrine wasn't very good. All right, now we see if this works the way I think it does. What was I going to do? Oh, I better pull Coward. You're going to be hanging out at the Death Star. I hate that for some reason I hate that attack run has to have proton torpedoes. I understand why, but because it's ray shielded, like that, they specifically say you have to have proton torpedoes in the movie, but it's like you have to have so much stuff go right in MBO to
like I said, I started with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I am not battling. I'm bad at this game, but I'm not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have you been playing?
So I've been in and out for a long time. The story is that I started in 1997 when I was in 3rd grade. And somebody told me that Star Wars cards was going to be the new Beanie Babies.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you, but okay, we are doing an attack run just for the heck of it at this point.
Yeah.
I drew Luke, and I also drew Gray Squadron 2, so that's an epic event destiny of 4.
Okay. Well, it hasn't added to the stuff yet, though, so
yeah,
we'll see what all this where your total comes out, because you have a lot of Yavin sites.
14.
So you got to 14. So that's a little scary.
Okay.
But yeah, so I played until the next Beanie Babies, which was Pokemon, around the 99 or 2000 or whatever. I got into Pokemon, got out of Star Wars cards. But then I got back in when after Decipher lost the license, when boxes were $20 or less.
Oh god, that was so good back then.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So just to let you know, according to Mr. Mingtown, it would have worked if General Dodonda was in the war room, because he makes each of the destinies +1.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ming.
Math is hard.
I didn't realize that. Now I know.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna give him
Too
one
many.
chance to blow it up, though.
But I have an answer this turn though, so we'll see
Oh,
what happens. But
well, that's no fun.
I
I literally
yeah,
have.
we're
I'm like, oh crap! I just realized maybe I should have ran away. Drain of 3.
yeah, because Leia makes it -1, and my objective makes it +2.
Wow.
But yeah, I got back into it for probably 2 years, and then got out of it, and I've been in and out probably for 2 years at a time, 3 or 4 other times, and then probably last April I got back into it.
Okay.
I've been playing pretty consistently since then.
Mm-hmm.
So this card doesn't work the way that I thought it did.
Uh-oh. Oh,
because
no!
I misread attack run.
Yeah.
As I thought it let you deploy to the thing, but it only lets you move there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a thing. All right. So math. Yeah.
Oh no, that card hurts so bad.
Although I guess if you just battle me there, that won't. Oh well.
Yeah, unfortunately that card has like no immunity to attrition. He's one step closer to blowing up my planets.
Mm-hmm.
So since you got back into the game, let's go with the newer time, like the most recent one. What are some cards that you like? Is there any in particular? Or even decks. Let's start with there.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a court player. So I really like that court is a good deck now.
Okay, before you do anything, you got any actions?
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna go. I'm going into control phase.
Oh well, I didn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna pull battle order because I don't satisfy it either, so it's fine.
Well, I'm gonna pull. Oh, I was gonna say. Yeah, because
I'm worrying about tracking anyway, so
that's fair. Okay. That's a good one to lose. Okay, so we were talking about decks you like.
But yeah, I really like that court is good.
Mm-hmm.
For the first, I played a lot of court in my day, and
So now we're just like the movies.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna have Wedge blow up the. Oh dear, you got some power there.
Yeah, Han showed up.
And I just in general, I think that the
wow, draw 1 for Destiny.
Well, that got that one out of the way. Although if you would have just blown up. I think you would have, or no, you wouldn't have because I would have subtracted. I don't know.
Okay, so they're covering 10 for you. So, oof.
Oh, you know what's nice? Forfeit of 12. Oh no, I guess it only forfeited for 10.
think somebody needs to virtualize that, make it better.
Yeah, that's a card that needs a virtual for sure. It's one
So-
of the biggest ones.
You lost your Yavin 4.
Oh, good. I got the 0 out of there. Okay, here it comes. Because Dodonna's at the war room. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say you got over 15.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
25 force loss. Which I have 25 in my life force. Well, I don't need commence primary ignition anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah wow. Okay, so
how does the force loss get calculated? Is it based on or is it all of my icons or something?
So I think it's the icon. Yeah, plus the objective. If Death Star is blown away, it adds 3 to force loss for each opponent's Death Star site.
Okay.
So that's 3, and it's the number of icons. So 3, 5, 6, 7. I think it adds 3 to each icon, or I'm not sure. But plus the trench.
It's a lot of force. Oh, and my objective gets placed out of play. That's rough.
That's the
That's
kick.
rough.
That's the kick.
Now the question is, can you get this last 8 force?
You know what? I'll be nice.
But that's going to be a 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Of course, you've got a steady drain of 2 going as well. I could shuttle down to Yavin. Yeah, I don't think it's worth playing this out. I'd rather switch decks.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay, so
see what happens with.
That's a good idea.
With me, that's crazy.
Kaboom!
Wow. I wonder how that is, like if that is if generally it has a MBO is, if it's one of those things where like MBO is not a good deck, but it's kind of better in that specific, it's kind of good in that specific matchup. Yeah, or
I think that's before we do anything, I just realized something. You brought up a good point, and I'm really glad that you brought this up. So I just got to change one thing on my deck. No. Yeah, I'm going to change that really quick. That puts me 1 over. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Unfortunately, yes, you missed the explosion. Uh, Wedge blew up the Death Star. So we decided to switch sides really quick, and yeah, we'll get one more game in. Okay. So you've been playing. So in and out. You've been playing for quite a while.
Yeah. 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 I've been playing like a little bit in a lot of eras, I would say.
Okay. So out of those, out of for how long you've been playing, what would you say is like one deck that stands out in particular for you?
Um. Hmm. So, I don't know. Uh, my my 12 card throne room is kind of the deck that's been my pet deck
Mm-hmm.
since I got back into the game, and it actually had its origins back back before. I always liked EPPs, and the roots of that deck were like a deck that played lots of dudes with lightsabers and lots of
Mm-hmm.
a Jedi's resilience.
Okay.
Um, and it's kind of gone beyond that now,
Mm-hmm.
but I was looking through when they posted the like deck lists from like 2014. I was looking through it. I was like, oh, there's a throne room deck that I played, that had that had like 4 EPP Lukes, 4 EPP Qui-Gons, and 4 EPP Obi-Wans, or something like that. Like,
Jeez.
so I like the dudes with lightsabers, which is part of the reason that I like the way that mains decks look now. It's a lot of fun with all the extra characters that have lightsabers.
That's true.
I think it's really interesting that really changes the dynamic of the game, where it used to be that, like, light side and dark side basically have uh
Mm-hmm.
3 characters that can have lightsabers. Light side has Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Luke. And dark side has Maul, Vader, and I guess Maul and Vader, and then has Emperor Palpatine, who's Emperor
Yeah.
Palpatine. Uh, but it was an interesting, sort of an interesting like limit. But now, and you know what, the game was great then. Don't get me wrong, but it was like that for 20 years. So
Yeah.
now it's kind of interesting introducing main characters from the prequels and the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. So you end up
Mm-hmm.
with, you can have like 5 different characters with lightsaber. I mean, you know, there probably was a meta where Ahsoka with lightsaber would be in every deck. But but you just don't need that because
Mm-hmm.
she's not as good as the other characters that have lightsabers. It's kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
don't get me. I mean, Ahsoka with lightsaber is good because if you're playing against a deck that has a lot of like little weenies, like 1 and 2 level of ability, like a court deck, for instance, she's good because she can hit multiple people. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would rather play something like Luke with lightsaber, Qui Gon, Obi Wan.
Right,
Now
right.
we have Rey with lightsaber, and she's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
although make sure if you play Ray if you think, oh, I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm going to play non-virtual Anakin's lightsaber so that Luke, Anakin, and Leia can all hold it. It doesn't work with Ray with lightsaber.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I learned my lesson there. All right, so now we pull some shenanigans.
Uh-oh, I don't like
This
shenanigans.
is I think either Flores V on the forums or Tom Haid or somebody
Yeah.
somebody said this. You gave me this trick. So you deploy Mon Mothma, use her to deploy Chandrila, and then you persona replace her.
I love it.
When I was playing earlier, I missed the war room pull.
Ah.
And that threw off the dynamic of the whole game. But I still almost destroyed the Death Star against TTO.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. So she pulls.
I find that funny that you were playing TTO.
Right. For a second, it looked like maybe I could blow up both Death Stars.
Somebody's pretty greedy. Strike planning? What?
You mean Strike Force?
Yes, that one, right?
That card, yeah. Strike planning was out.
Yes. In all fairness, you actually do have strike planning out.
I do also have strike planning out. Yes. But yeah, CRG gave me this deck, but I think he got it. I think he got the list from Flores, but also I think Tom Haid played a similar deck at one point or something. I don't know. People were talking in the Slack about it when both you and I were scrambling to get MBO decks at 5 o'clock. I'm just glad I got one game in to like learn what the cards do.
I'll say this: I went in blind, so
you still caused 25 force loss.
Well, like I said, I had the hand to get me anything I needed to blow up the Death Star. I had the attack run, I had the proton torpedoes, I had wedge. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm blowing up some Death Stars.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's so much easier. It's so much easier to blow up planets than it is to blow up the Death Star, and that's. I mean, maybe it should be because the Death Star is a big, scary battle station that's shooting a big laser at a big planet, as opposed to like a fighter going in and blowing up a Death Star. But
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's so many pieces, and I don't know. Maybe I guess you just win when it happens. So if that's the case, maybe that's good that it's hard, because there's also like, I feel like light side, the Rebel Strike Team deck, a lot of times they'll blow up the bunker and I'll just like shrug off the 8 force loss, like, and just keep going about my day. So I guess it's good when epic events actually are epic.
Yes. The Death Star is now orbiting the planet.
Oh dear.
Well, I will say this: I don't have one of the 3 sites that I need. So there is that. Sending one of your techs to go get the trench, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, give me icons.
Okay. What do these cards do? I can pull a Rebel Leader, so I probably want to pull Leia with that. I wasn't paying attention as to whether she was in the deck or not.
Oh no.
But I think, but Mon Mothma can pull a
Rebel tech, yeah.
Once per turn, yeah. I don't think there's another one in there, but
Leia's not in there.
Leia's not in there. Awesome.
Oh crap! You and your fallen portal.
Yes. Lots of fallen portals.
I forgot all about that before sending Maul on his suicide mission.
Well, Maul can hold up against the Fallen Portal. I have to draw a 5 to get him. So.
That's true.
Up.
So, what cards do you like besides cards with lightsabers?
What cards do I like? Well, I like lots of cards. I think that Aura Sing with Blaster Rifle, I really like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's the kind of card that Darkseid needs more of, where she's like just like a really solid utility card. I think that Lightside has a lot of utility characters with like Rey and Anakin and Ahsoka, who I go back and forth on. I like her when I play her,
but when your opponent plays her,
when my opponent plays her, yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens if I do this.
Yeah, I definitely think she's one of the more busted light side characters.
Yeah, I mean she's and it's like it's just by a little bit. Like like I think that if she was tweaked just a little, then you might be able to she might be a lot better, but
yeah.
It's just a little something like she maybe if she costed one more. I mean, most of the Jedis, she costs what, 5? Most Jedi, you know, cost 6 unless they're kind of crappy, and you know, so if she costs 6, then I think she'd be pretty solid. I guess I'd do that.
Yeah, we have a comment in the chat. Darkseid needs more utility characters that aren't just pew pew characters. Lightside has so much weapon hate. Yeah, I think that is a problem with Lightside right now. There are cards like I think I can take care of myself, keep your eyes open, virtual, stuff just like that to stop with weapons. What are you doing? What's this?
We'll see what happens. Oh wow! I just want to. I don't like him.
Why? What did he ever do to you?
I was trying to get the 6 and the 5 out of the way, so you'll miss your ignition.
That's fair. I mean, I do know I have zeros in the deck, so.
There we go.
1.
That was the plan all along.
Kill off Maul.
Yep, that was the goal.
Good thing I have retrieval.
Yeah, you do have retrieval.
Actually, technically we both do. I was gonna say I can't initiate a drain, dude.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh well, at least it's there. Keep you honest.
I'll give you.
You can. Back. Well, no, you can still. No, it's or well, okay.
If you
no, I'm still gonna pull it because you'll commence if you commence primary ignition this turn. You can.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and plus, if I don't do it, then I'll forget.
That's true.
And I won't pull it when I'm supposed to.
Well, don't you want me to pull it?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. You're gonna drain before I drain probably because I don't have anything. I'm so bad about remembering to pull battle orders, battle plan and battle order. That's Joker King pointed out that that's why it's good to have that's why Court is a good deck, because you start with battle order on the table, so you can't forget to pull it.
I know a lot of light side decks are starting to run Battle Order as well.
Yeah. And actually, I kind of learned No Idea, and I'm very back and forth on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I like No Idea. It's even though it's very powerful, it's still fun to play against, as opposed to like how Old Allies was last summer.
Oh yeah.
That was the most frustrating thing to me last summer, was playing against a ROPS deck or an Old Allies deck when my opponent didn't know how to play their deck, and I was playing a bad deck because I was, had just gotten back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So my opponent was playing painfully slow and not doing any damage, but had the board totally locked down.
Yeah. Believe me, I've had my share of just hating on ROPS decks. OA, not so much, just because I actually kind of like OA. I'm more of the control type of player, so yeah. But I can see how people don't like it.
So the trick with control and tunnel vision in this deck is I don't know what card I want.
All the cards. Well,
Yeah.
if you're playing the Death Star, you cannot deploy the Death Star.
Yeah, until I flip. Yeah.
No, you can't play it when you flip because it has to be not on table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I learned that last game.
Nice.
And so I was like, oh, you're going to drain me for 3? I'll just ditch these 2 Death Stars that are doing nothing in my hand.
Right. Oh, man. That.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about flipping with this deck, is you got to flip really fast.
I think your build that had the extra Yavin foresights makes a lot of sense, except for that. Then you're, I mean, this is a card that wants to play this is a deck that wants to play 100 cards.
Yeah.
Like it's got way too many moving parts.
Yeah, like I said, that was the build that I was using was an Eric Hunter, and like I said, he played it a little bit in the OCS, so I figured if anybody would be, I should take advice from anybody, maybe him.
Yeah, he did a bad deck breakdowns with us with a weird ROPS deck that he built that used Forced Servitude.
Yeah.
And CRG tried to play it against me as like playtesting, preparing for the thing, and like neither one of us could figure the deck out at all. But I think then we played another game where he played where he and he kicked my butt. So all right. Do I have any other things I can pull? Oh, I do have another Yavin Foresight.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's the other site.
But I don't have a character to put there.
Aw.
And it's awkward because it has to be on the other side of the docking bay.
Yeah. So you have to go through the docking bay.
Yeah. And there isn't. Oh, well, that's awkward.
You know which one I would do instead of like the outdoor ones? I would actually use the throne room as your other site.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, you could have put Radis over to the jungle and then shuttled him up.
That also makes sense.
I mean, that's what I did to get my guys out of there.
Yeah. That would make sense. I don't have.
Oh, you don't have a star. You don't have a capital.
I don't think I have enough force to deploy him and deploy. Or no, he's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Um, because he's zero force. All right, so but I pulled him from the reserve deck. That's why. That's the problem.
Oh, you
I pulled him
from
the reserve deck
deck
to deploy there,
Okay.
so I will just stick him there because that's where he has to go.
That's fair.
It's I mean, it's a misplay because I don't have every card in my deck memorized, but it's not a misplay
That's
in the
fair.
regular sense. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Being thrown a deck at like an hour and a half before the show, that kind of makes sense if you don't know what every card in the deck is.
Yeah, and an MBO deck, no less, like
Yeah.
which is not.
God, I want to make that as a challenge one of these days, as a deck building challenge. Play MBO, blow up the Death Star in an open league format.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I know Eric Hunter played it in the OCS, and I don't know if he was blowing up the Death Star and winning, but it just seems fun. Like, I like these decks that nobody plays. Like, nowadays, nobody plays lightsaber combat.
Mm-hmm.
I see hyperdrive here and there, but it's just still a bad deck. Unless you're playing against a Watto, you're gonna have a bad time.
Mm. Yeah. So I think there's a difference between MBO and lightsaber combat, because lightsaber combat has good cards in it.
Mm-hmm.
It just is maybe not favored for whatever reason.
Yeah,
we'll move Radis over to help the Rebel tech.
I will say this: I'm not playing any spies. But then again, you have General Donda.
Yeah, I need to have a leader there, so.
Well, no, I'm saying you have General Donda, so I can't deploy anybody there, but I can go to the briefing room.
Yeah. You move over. Yes. Yeah, that's the biggest. I think the biggest issue with this MBO build, aside from all the other issues, is that it doesn't have a. I mean, I guess it has Fallen Portal to deal with people that invade the docking bay, but.
Okay, I will say this. I'm going to be fair. I will not throw another guy down to your sites. I actually want to. I'm going to be like, okay, you need to flip. Please, for the love of God, flip.
I'll try my best. Oh man, yeah, this deck is so bad.
Maybe we should do a bad deck breakdown on it.
Yeah, well, so that's that's the thing is there's a different. The Sikfa deck could be a bad deck breakdowns. I don't think that this deck is, at least. I mean, it's very possible that I'm just playing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I'm playing it suboptimally, but to me, like I said, bad deck breakdowns isn't about like seeking out the worst possible deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating something. It's about doing something new and interesting, and if it's bad, it's okay. So, it's more like, yeah, and also like I kind of wish that we would do a little bit more of something that's like you said, lightsaber combat, like a more standard build of a lightsaber combat deck, because there's not a lot of, I mean, unless you want to go to the deck tech archives, there are limited, you probably aren't going to find a deck that that won the NPC that did well. You never know if this deck did well or poorly at a major. If it's in one of those lists, because those are the only deck lists that you can reliably get are the ones from majors. So it might be yeah, a lightsaber combat or a rebel senate or not rebel senate, a light side senate deck, or something that's that's probably got some potential, but just
Mm-hmm.
maybe doesn't fit into the meta, or people have just forgotten it exists. Because I really like, I like that Set Your Course for Alderaan. Like there's room for a Maul with lightsaber and a Mara with lightsaber, like a few characters to throw in and kind of make your opponent throw some resources at them while you blow up a bunch of planets.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like this MBO deck is like the whole deck has to be built around
Blowing up the Death Star.
blowing up the Death Star, which is, I don't know. Maybe it's interesting if it would work more often, or if maybe if I was playing it right.
I think like with MBO, it's one of those objectives I would like to see virtualized, kind of like what they did with the hyperdrive objective.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think you're on the right statement though. It does need about another 30 cards. Like you're starting Great Shot Kid, Strike Planning, and Walkling. Well, don't you want to start the squadron assignment so if you get a Luke, you can throw them out?
Right. Yeah. Like I don't know how there's no room for, not only is there no room for squadron assignments, there's no room for Darklighter Spin.
Mm-hmm.
Or that the combo, whatever that, all wings reported in a Darklighter Spin. So you just completely have to like you get it with tunnel vision, I guess. And there's not there because there's also not a lot of room for tunnel visions or rescues in the clouds or anything. Like it's a thing. Although maybe you could cut some of the fallen portals and just hope for the best. What am I doing?
You're talking to me about how bad this deck is at doing stuff other than MBO stuff.
All right. Oh man. Oh, I need to flip. That's what I need to do. Okay.
See who you get out to flip with. Oh, there's your Luke. And you flip.
All right, now we see if I know how movement works.
That's fair. Okay, I see what you're doing. Oh, where is it?
Yeah, the other day I was playing. I must have been playing Set Your Course for Alderaan, and for some I can't remember why, but for some reason I was unable to shuttle somebody up, and I was like, and it took me like entirely too long to figure out what had caused that. But I don't remember what it was. So,
Well, I do know not to initiate a force rain at the docking bay because Leia is there.
Because Leia makes them -1. That's a good, like there's some interesting interactions in this deck, definitely. That kind of buy you some time. But yeah. I wonder, I just want, like, it would be really cool if you could just like have, because Set Your Course for Alderaan, if you play the Death Star And if you're, as long as you're playing the Death Star and commence primary ignition, and like, you know, are really good at drawing a destiny of 9 somehow, like as long, you know, as long as you can draw that destiny, you can blow up planets. I mean, obviously commence primary ignition is shielded and everything, but like,
boo.
now Palpatine kills one of the gunners. Yavin. Man. Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you were adding a lot to it too. That's yeah, I like, cuz like if you could do Yavin 4 ops and then stick attack run in somehow, that would be really cool.
Okay. Let's see how we can try to do this again. Okay. Let's get some of the lower destinies out of my deck.
You can also track that 4. In any other matchup, you track that 4 and you know you'll hit.
Yeah.
Grab your 6.
No. I mean, it was. But I'll get a gunner back. That's the important part. Yeah, it was going to go lost, so you wouldn't have actually been able to track it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, this way, if I come after you on the Death Star or something,
True.
I don't know, it's fine.
No force strain for you. But you'll get to retrieve one. Oh, thank you, Ming. Thank you for subscribing for 11 months. Wow. One more, and then you get the foil map objective from Chris Goglin. So have you been playing in the OCS a lot?
I played in February and then like didn't play in March, April, May, and then I played in June and July. I got earlier this spring, I got kind of like a little bit tired of playing exclusively competitively, or like really trying to just be competitive, and I just like wanted to play, not necessarily like play like terrible decks, but just kind of wanted to play whatever I wanted to play, and like, you know, play against mediocre players and maybe actually win some games. So I mostly just played casual.
That's fair. You got the trench down. That's not good.
Yeah.
Rebel tech, proton. So okay, you're gonna try and get your proton torpedoes now. Uh-oh. And I haven't even blown up Alderon yet. What is with me?
Yeah, it's. I think it is way harder to blow up planets when you're playing against a rebel base.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I have an action before you end. Okay. One of the nice things about being able to talk to your opponent on like this is definitely saying stuff like, "Hey, I got an action before you end your turn."
mm-hmm.
Because like I didn't know if you were going to draw that last card or not.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So where are you from?
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's good to know. Because I have a ship with a proton torpedo, but I can't do an attack run because I already made a regular move. So it's a regular move to go from
Mm-hmm.
Death Star to the trench. Good to know.
Oh, here we go. He is going to try and blow up my Death Star.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I can't blow up the Death Star until next turn, unfortunately.
Okay, so.
Super lame.
Okay. Time to fire the gun. There's
So
5,
math.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I was gonna say. So where are you from, sir?
I'm Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Now, I retrieve 3.
All right.
And the crowd
You have
goes
no
wild.
lost file. Ah.
Go Buckeyes.
Yeah, Buckeyes. They are a sport. They're a college. Both my parents graduated from Ohio State.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This isn't going to end well.
I got to do something to get you off of the Death Star. I just can't be like, okay, go blow up the planet. I don't care. I have people on my giant station that fires death rays.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Plus, I mean, I did let you get to Alderaan.
You know what's going to be great is if the permanent pilot of Gold
oh.
Leader
Yeah. If you're
blows up the Death Star.
Okay, let's just keep on the train. So do you have a bunch of people that you play with in person out in Ohio?
No. I have the only in person. I have not played an in person game of. Well, no. Okay, that's not true. There's. I've played 4 in person games of Star Wars in
Okay.
Ohio since I got back. I met a guy named Sam and a guy named Tom in the last few months. There were a handful of people who kind of came out of the woodwork
Mm-hmm.
with the Facebook group. But the handful of them came out of the woodwork Facebook group right when the pandemic happened.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes.
Like literally like the day that everything got shut down, I was supposed to meet this guy to
Mm-hmm.
play to play a couple of games.
Okay.
And then yeah, the other guy Tom, I was on a I actually went. He's about an hour away, and I met up with him
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks ago, and we got a couple games in. He didn't
Nice.
understand how attrition worked, so that was
Oh.
that was fun. But it didn't come up until the second game we played though,
Really?
which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, yeah.
So, like, what did you guys play?
Well, I just it was one of those situations where he deployed like one guy to the audience chamber and I just totally overwhelmed him.
Okay.
And then the second game, it only, it was like a one battle thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game he actually won a battle and I was like, you have to lose that guy. What do you mean? I won. But he was cool.
That's good.
And I'm sure that I will meet up with him again in the near future. And yeah, so there's a few people, but yeah, I mean, otherwise, last summer I drove out to Indianapolis for an event that Brian Fred ran, and then I drove up to Minneapolis for nationals. But otherwise, it's all Gemp. So yeah, the Gemp is very good.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you got some decent destinies.
I can deploy extra proton torpedoes. Actually, I probably want to leave the proton torpedoes in there. Yeah, I don't think I want to pull anything else. Oh. You have to actually deploy. Oh, you have to deploy the attack run. That's why I couldn't. That's why I couldn't do it that first turn.
Yeah. So with the attack run, yeah, you deploy it because you can throw down. You can just keep going until you lose your ships or blow up the Death Star.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Oh, so we have somebody who is in. He's about 60 miles east of Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually watching right now. So.
Cool. Well, one of these days we'll get an event going. I feel like there's enough people that if like, people were not scared of leaving their houses, not that, obviously there's reasons not to downplay the, stuff, but like, if stuff wasn't happening, I feel like there's a good chance that we could get something together. But I also kind of, I tried for so long. I tried to be like the Mark Walseth of Ohio, not on the same to the same extent, but like every time I got into the game, like trying to recruit new people. And at some point I was just like, no, I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna, I will travel to, I will show up to events, but I don't necessarily want to be the guy that runs events or whatever. So
I hear you.
Okay, how am I doing this? Guess I'll deploy there. I don't want to get overwhelmed.
That's a card I should have put in here.
That's a word. Yep. Actually, wait. I just realized. Instead of deploying Riken, I should deploy Admiral Akbar. He's probably a better pilot.
Yeah, because Riken's not even a pilot.
Yes, exactly. Oh, is he even? He's even ability 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than 2.
That's gonna be a quote.
Let's see if I guess let's see if Akbar can blow up the Death Star.
No. I have something for this, but crap. I don't think that does it. Okay, that's a 3. Uh-oh.
So both games. That's really interesting to me that both games Lightside blew up the Death Star. So MBO is clearly just the superior deck, right?
Yeah, I think we found that out. That's what hurts is I had the control set for stun to try and control set for stun your pilot. Well, you got me down to 10. Oh my god. Well, you know what? I'm going to take a page from you, and I think with that bombshell, I'm going to concede.
All right.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was crazy. That was
fun. Okay, so I want to thank everybody who tuned in this evening for the great Death Star blow up. I want to thank my guest this evening, Kendall Halman. Again, one of the 2 hosts of the Bad Deck Breakdown and who's done a lot of other podcasts, so look for them. And we'll be back next week. Again, we'll have Monday is going to be Chris Goglin's show. Wednesday is going to be Hollow Theater with Justin Desai and myself. Looks like we're gonna try and either get Troy, the creator of GEMP, or possibly Jared Napolitano on. And we'll be back next Thursday for another episode of Dan Plays. Look out for see who's on. Who's going to be my guest and see what we'll be playing. So again, I want to thank Kendall for showing up. And
thanks for having me on.
And we will see everybody next week. Take care.